My name is Professor Mike IKUPOLATI. I'm from Iyara, the Jumu local government of Kogi State. Currently, I'm the chairman and international consultant for Global Intellectual Consult in Abuja. We are fully into human capital development. And in the education area, I am a professor of leadership and corporate governance. I'm also a professor of insurance and management, the head of the University of American Learning Center in Abuja. Some few months ago, appointed as the proctor of the university, representing the vice chancellor in both Africa and the Asia. The university is a global university, and in Nigeria we train both the masters. It's a graduate school, so we train both masters and PhD students. That's what I do currently. Currently, we have a group, a committee we call the Okun for Governor Strategic Committee, of which I'm a member, and currently I've acted as the acting chairman of the committee, and to ensure that we further our agitation on Okun for Governor come November 2023. Now, what is this agitation all about? Now, what we are saying here is that if you look at the state, Kogi State, you will see that since the inception of Kogi State in 1991, governors have been coming from different areas, or especially from the different senatorial districts of Kogi State. And we have had about 16 years of rule by the Eastern Senatorial District of Kogi State. And when it was time, we were together, and we believe a group that's at that time also, which involved the OTT, thought that there should be an agitation for a power shift. And then we started moving and holding meetings to ensure, both with the central, both the west and the central, to see how power can move from the east to either the central or move to the west. And we had series of meetings between the two groups. We had a MOU. Even at the time, I remember we had an MOU that whichever senatorial district between central and west gets the governorship, the others should join hands to ensure that good governance is provided for our people. We were very concerned about good governance in Kogi State. We are concerned about the development of the state, and we believe that either the central or the west can come in and jointly work together to ensure that this is done and that the goals are achieved. And so we work assiduously to the extent that at the end of the day, power shifted from the east now to central. And as you have seen it now, the Kogi Central has held on to power for 8 years now, running to 8 years now. And we believe that by fairness and equity and justice, the governorship should move to the west. And when we talk about the west, we are talking about mainly Okun nations of Kogi State. But when you talk about Kogi West, it's made up of about 7 local governments, and out of these 7 local governments, about 5.5 of it speak the same language, the Okun language. And so if it's coming to the west, especially now that the remaining 1.5 part of the 7 local government house the Kogi capital in Lokoja, and therefore if governorship is shifting to the west, we are of the view that it should naturally and by justice and fairness come to Okun land. And that's why we came together a few months ago, a committee set up by Okun New Initiative under the leadership of Deacon Olusuyi. And we believe that this committee should work assiduously to provide or to diplomatically see how we can engage both the central and the east to ensure that there is a shift of power from the central now to the west, and especially to Okun land. And so the agitation is that we are not political. We are not talking about which party to bring about governorship from Okun land. No, what we are agitating for is that whether it is APC, it is PDP, it is Labour Party, or whichever party, SDP, within Kogi State, they should field an Okun man, so that at the end of the day, whichever party wins the election, the general election, for governorship in November, it will the person will be coming from the Okun extraction of Kogi State, and that's exactly what we are agitating for. So if it's not a matter, we know by political arrangement that power is not given, so we are not asking for it. Power is taken, and that's why this committee has been set up to ensure that whatever it takes for power to be taken from the center to the west, we will try as much as possible within the legal framework of our society, do what is possible to ensure that there is a shift in power. And that's what we have done by going forward to address an international press conference where we catalog our strategies, and then we give a lot of reasons why Okun should have it at this time. All over, if we say we all fought for Kogi State, and if there are 3 senatorial districts, normally if we have 8 years of rule in the east, we should have 8 years of rule in the central, and then automatically we should have 8 years of rule also from the west. But as it is now, we have 16 years of rule in the east, and we also have 8 years of rule. In fact, if you take it back in history to when we were in Kwara State, when we were in Kwara State also, the central, what is now central, Kogi Central, and Kogi West was part of Kwara. And there in Kwara, from the time Kwara State was established up to the time we left Kwara State for Kogi State, not a single Okun person occupied the position of governor of Kwara State. But we had an Igbira man in the name of Adamuata, who was governor. He did 4 years in Kwara. So if you add their own 4 years in Kwara to the 8 years they have done now, we have 12 years of rule from the central. And therefore, naturally, and by equity and fairness, an Okun man should be the governor. And that's why this strategy committee, Okun for Governor Strategy Committee, have sat down to say, what do we do? What are the strategy? So we have started to say, it is not by fire. We believe in peaceful coexistence. And if you know Okun very well, we are very peaceful. And we believe that we can solve our problem by the brain and not by the blood. I repeat this, that we can solve our problem by the brain and not by the blood, which means not by force, but by diplomatic means. And therefore, what we have decided to do is to go into negotiation, into consultation, into seeking for support of both the central and the east, to let them see reason why at this time Okun person should be at the Lugard House. And that's exactly what we are trying to do. So our agitation is purely based on moral ground, based on natural justice, based on the right of man to ask for equal treatment. Because the rule of law provides that at least that we should all be equal before the law. And we believe that if there is fairness, and we believe that an Okun person now should be due to occupy the Lugard House to rule Kogi State at least for the next 4 or 8 years. And this is what the agitation is all about.